Oh boy, hold on to your helicopters because the rumor mill is churning out some spicy details about the upcoming Mission Impossible movie. Apparently, there's been some talk that the franchise might be following a popular trend in action movies by killing off its main character, Ethan Hunt. Say it ain't so! The 8th installment of the Mission Impossible series, entitled Dead Reckoning Part 2, is set to continue the story from the first part and serve as the final chapter in the series. We all know that with each movie, the stunts get crazier and the action gets more intense. So we can only imagine what kind of jaw-dropping feats the filmmakers have in store for us in this epic finale. But here's the thing, most two-part action movies come with higher stakes, bigger threats, and well, some serious consequences. And if you've seen movies like Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 or Avengers Endgame, you know that those consequences can sometimes include the death of a beloved character. Yikes. Adding to the speculation is the fact that other long-running action franchises like John Wick and James Bond have recently offed their main characters. Plus, let's not forget that the Mission Impossible series has been around for almost 30 years now, so it's not looking too good for Ethan Hunt. But here's the tea. Killing off Ethan would be a major mistake for the franchise. Let's face it, Tom Cruise is Mission Impossible. He's been the face of the series from day one, and fans simply can't imagine the movies without him. So while we're bracing ourselves for some major shocks and surprises in Dead Reckoning Part 2, let's hope that killing off Ethan isn't one of them.
Mission accomplished!
What are some of the potential options to end Ethan Hunt's story? The potential ending of the upcoming movie and how Ethan Hunt will bid us adieu is something that no one can stop discussing. One possible option that the fans buzzing is that the IMF agent would meet his maker. This would be a shocking departure from star Tom Cruise's wishes, as he has previously expressed that he does not want Ethan to bite the dust. However, some sources suggest that Cruise may have had a change of heart after talking through a potential storyline with director Christopher McQuarrie. It could be the perfect way to conclude Ethan's arc after years of saving the world. He could make the ultimate sacrifice in his final mission, completing the task at hand and earning a fitting send-off. Of course, it would mean that Cruise would never return to the role again, but sometimes you've got to go out with a bang, right? But we have better options for now because there's another possibility on the table. Some insiders have floated the idea that Ethan Hunt could take on a whole new role in the franchise by becoming the new boss of IMF. This would be a welcome change, as the position has been somewhat of a revolving door over the years. If Hunt were to take the reins, he could continue to serve the world in a more administrative capacity, while also lending his experience and loyalty to help elevate the organization's standing in the spy world. Who knows? Maybe he'll finally find some stability in his professional life after all these years. And if death and promotions aren't your things, there's always the possibility of retirement. It's a scenario that has been toyed with before, but this time it could be different. If Ethan were to retire at the end of Mission Impossible 8, it would be a happy ending for the character and fans alike. After all, he's more than earned some time off after all the world saving he's done. Plus, retiring would leave the door slightly open for Cruise to return to the franchise in the future, should his post-Mission Impossible 8 plans not to pan out. Let's not forget the possibility of Ethan and Alyssa Faust, played by Rebecca Ferguson, living happily ever after in retirement. Could there be a more satisfying end for the hero we've come to know and love? Only time will tell. Is Mission Impossible 8 going to be the last we see of Ethan Hunt? As you know, Mission Impossible 8 is set to hit theaters on June 28th, 2024, after being delayed multiple times due to the pesky pandemic that just won't quit. But Ethan Hunt just might. That's right, rumors are swirling that Mission Impossible 7 and 8 were always planned as Cruise's swan song in the franchise. The actor has been playing the roles since the first Mission Impossible film way back in 1996, which means he will have been in the part of almost 3 decades by the time the 8th film comes out. It's a long time to be dodging bullets and pulling off impossible stunts. While there's no official word that Mission Impossible 8 will be the last film in the franchise, it certainly seems likely given all the delays and the fact that Cruise is getting up there in years. And to make matters even more suspicious, the 2 sequels were shot back to back, a move that's often used to close out a franchise on a high note. But don't worry, fans, even if this is the end of the line for Tom Cruise, that doesn't necessarily mean the end of Mission Impossible. The films have already raked in over $3.5 billion worldwide, and the number is only going to go up with the release of Mission Impossible 8. It would be crazy for Paramount to just throw away such a lucrative IP. While most of them keep saying it is the end of an era, there's always a possibility it might not be the case. One thing that seems to be off the table is Ethan Hunt dying, as Tom Cruise has already confirmed that this won't be the case. Killing off Hunt would have been a fitting end for the character, but Cruise is against it. This is in keeping with Cruise's history of not wanting his characters to die at the end of his movies. Instead, retiring Ethan Hunt from his IMF duties seems like a more plausible option. It would provide the character with a peaceful resolution to his story, and keep the door open for Cruise to reprise his role if he ever wants to return to the franchise. Why do we want Ethan to keep going? Tom Cruise is known for his jaw-dropping stunts in Mission Impossible movies, but there's one thing he's not willing to do: kill off his character Ethan Hunt. The Hollywood star has played the IMF agent for 6 films in the franchise, and he's not ready to say goodbye just yet. In a recent interview with Cinema Blend, Cruise stated that it is never going to happen, ever. Director Christopher McQuarrie agrees with Cruise's decision, admitting that he's unsure how he would handle Ethan's death in a satisfying way. He believes that if a character has to die, it should be for a noble reason. McQuarrie said something along the lines of being able to justify the ability of nobility that they could provide to a character's death. However, Cruise's commitment to performing his own stunts has resulted in a few close calls. He broke his ankle while filming Mission Impossible Fallout and continued to shoot the scene despite the injury. It was a hard hit, and I was trying to mitigate the hit. I thought, well, I'm just going to touch my foot, and I just kept it there for a really split second too long to try to soften the impact of the side of the wall, he explained. I was like, it's broken. I know it's broken. Just keep going and run past the camera so that we have the shot. That was the first thing I thought, just get through the shot. As fans eagerly await the release of Mission Impossible 8, they can rest assured that Ethan Hunt will be around for a little while longer. And if Cruise has his way, the character will never meet his demise. So if Hunt isn't going to kick the bucket, what other options are there? The most likely scenario, according to our sources, is that Ethan Hunt will retire from his IMF duties. This would give the character a peaceful resolution to his story, while also leaving the door open for Cruise to potentially reprise the role in the future. After all, who knows what the future might hold? As we eagerly await the release of Mission Impossible 8, we can only speculate on how Ethan Hunt's story will end. But one thing's for sure, it's going to be an epic conclusion to one of the most iconic action franchises of all time. So buckle up, folks, and get ready for one last ride with Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt. It's going to be one for the ages. And if you like our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us. If you haven't already, have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.
What's done is done, and what we say it's done.